What's going on, everybody? This is Jack Acid bringing you the first of a mini-series I'm doing, taking you through the F1 2012 Season Challenge mode, and going to be starting off here on hard, joining the Caterham team, working our way from the bottom. And I am still intending on doing a career mode series, but want to spend a little bit of time with the game before I get knee-deep into that. And let's face it, the career mode is pretty long. And it's pretty time consuming, so thought this might be a nice little filler, and let's face it, it's a new mode within the franchise, so that makes it pretty compelling. So going to start off here, kind of scan through my email. The objective in this mode is that we're going to be selecting a rival of choice and trying to beat them in at least 2 races. And if we are able to do so, we're able to take their seat for the next couple of races. So going to be targeting Jean-Eric Verne here with Toro Rosso, who's ranked about 4 or 5 spots up from me. And I'm hoping to beat him here at the first race of the season at Monza. And going to take you through just a portion of the qualifying lap here. And the objective in qualifying in the season challenge mode is basically a single one-shot hot lap. And you can see here that I'm chasing down Hamilton, who's the current pole position leader, and get it all wrong here. And that would be the story of my lap. Definitely going to cost me, not to mention the fact that I'm in a Caterham versus Hamilton's McLaren. So now coming up to the end of the qualifying lap, let's see what kind of time we can do. Here come the times rolling in, currently running 19th, and then at the last moment, Kovalainen, my teammate, qualifies ahead of me. And you can see just how small of a difference that was, about 0.2 of a second. So now skipping ahead to the race, and we will be starting off in 20th position. And Jean-Eric Verne's going to be starting ahead of us. And you can see that in Season Challenge mode, all we have to do is beat our rival. We don't have to concern ourselves with a team objective per se. There are still team objectives for qualifying and the race, but they're just not really an issue. Your primary objective is to beat your rival. And of course, you're still trying to score points and win the championship. It's just that there are no repercussions of failing a team objective. There's no experience points or anything of that nature. So in that way, we are less concerned in this mode. So Jean-Eric Verne has qualified 15th. That's 5 spots ahead of me. And it's kind of a crapshoot when you select a rival in terms of how well you're going to be able to compete with them. I just kind of went by the eyeball test, thinking, 4 or 5 spots up. Toro Rosso's a, sort of a lower mid-tier team, and would be a nice transition from Caterham. And from Toro Rosso, maybe you start looking at a team like Lotus or Mercedes and so forth. So here we are to start, all the way back in the back of the grid, and you can see that I'm chasing down my teammate, and don't have very good pace here off the line, and now coming into the field and barely able to slow down in time. And not make any heavy contact. You can see a little bit of contact there with Bruno Senna, and now wheel to wheel with Verne on the left-hand side, and we were able to stay ahead and shoot in front of Senna now, and now Raikkonen, and now Grosjean falls behind as I almost go off the track on the left-hand side, and we are able to get up into P12 coming into this hard braking point. Don't want to slam into the back of anybody, and now trying to share this chicane with Maldonado in the Williams tight fit, but able to get ahead of him. And so now trying to chase down Rosberg and the Mercedes, and you have to feel like this might be a little bit of a mirage, as you can see the train of cars piling up behind me. And again, I'm not super versed on the new control scheme yet. This is only a handful of hours into getting it, and spending a lot of time on different modes, so not even sure what my pace is going to be. The only time I've really spent with it was making my review of the game, which of course you can find on my channel if you're interested. It's a pretty lengthy inside look, about 21 minutes long, and you can find the link to that video in the description here. So now trying to stay ahead of the Williams on the very long straight, dropping it into 4th gear here and trying to hold an inside position, and you can see Maldonado not getting aggressive. And now as I go a little bit wide there, coming into the end of lap 1, and currently running in P11, so we are well ahead of Jean-Eric Verne for now. And you can see that Maldonado's thinking about having a look, but decides not to make any kind of a move, slowing down to the chicane. And I have noticed that this chicane is a lot easier for me to hit in F1 2012 than it was in 2011. Seems like the braking is more responsive. The car feels a little more stable under braking. I have noticed some improvements in terms of my ability to play it in areas where I normally would struggle, but of course that doesn't make the game easy. As you can see, I clipped the chicane there, and I've had a couple spinouts there in my time at Monza, so this game can be unforgiving depending on how well you're managing your throttle and so forth. And you can see now Grosjean has overtaken Maldonado, and he's now having a look on the outside on the right-hand side, and of course I'm leaving him room to get by me. He definitely has the pace over me. And now Maldonado also trying to get in on the action. Let's see if we can get around Grosjean here, and not able to do so. In fact, pushed off just a little bit, but able to get my place back on the track and stay ahead of the Williams. But you have to feel like it's only a matter of time before he gets around me. And now along this main straight, and of course I am using KERS throughout this, able to stay ahead of Maldonado. And so now with just over 3 laps to go, holding a pretty good position here in 12th. And if you look at the mini-map, you can see a train of cars, and what you want to be concerned with is the, I believe it's the little blue icon represents your rival. So that's who you want to be keeping track of. I believe there's an orange icon for your teammate, as you can see, trying to get around Grosjean and almost go into the sand, but able to save the car and maintain position. I have noticed in this particular part of the track, the chicane that we just went through and right through here, usually the AI is a little bit slower. So there do seem to be parts of the track, at least at Monza, where the AI is slow. As you can see, thought about getting aggressive after Grosjean, also mishandling that chicane again. And a lot of it has to do with just reaction of trying to make a split-second decision if you want to try and have a go. But now you can see Grosjean is pulling well ahead. And honestly, probably should have been more aggressive there. But again, because I'm just trying to stay ahead of the Toro Rosso, I'm not too concerned about situations like this, as Maldonado just zips right on by. And let's see if we can catch him at the breaking point. And Raikkonen now following behind, surprisingly, in 14th position. Not sure what happened to Kimi, but he's struggling here. And now it's going to become a matter of trying to fend him off. I believe he is the only car that separates me from Jean-Eric Vergne, so I'd like to keep it that way. And for some reason, Raikkonen has fallen way back along that straight. I'm not exactly sure what's going on there, but you can see as we come around the final turn here that he's able to collect himself and get right back on me. And definitely going to struggle to stay ahead of him here. This is a DRS zone, but because we're chasing down Maldonado here, we are able to use our DRS and negate that. But now getting our braking point all wrong heading into the chicane, and surprisingly no warning from the stewards about an illegal overtake, now giving Maldonado room on the right hand side. Now he yields and falls back. And I do know that in this game, if you do an illegal overtake, there's a little countdown ticker that would normally appear. And it would basically give you a handful of seconds, somewhere between 4 and 6 seconds, to relinquish your position back to whoever you illegally overtook. But I guess in this instance, the stewards deemed that a legal maneuver, albeit completely ugly. And actually, now that I think about it, I guess I overtook him well before the incident at the chicane. But if anything, that might have been a corner cutting warning, some kind of a warning from the stewards. For that kind of ugliness. And now you can see that Raikkonen is using his DRS to try and get by me, and even though he's got the speed, not able to take advantage. And through all my blathering, I failed to mention that Raikkonen and Maldonado are trading P13 back and forth, back and forth. In fact, Maldonado's now back ahead of Raikkonen. So as we near the end of lap 4, heading into the final lap of the race, it's going to be a question of who it is that I'll be competing with. And I'm not going to be overly worried about it as long as I'm able to stay ahead of the Toro Rosso. Now Maldonado having a look on the outside, and you can see that he's not able to get around me, and I do not have a DRS advantage, but Maldonado does. So now let's see if we can handle the braking point better than we did before and see if we can get ahead of him. And we are able to get around, and much cleaner this time. Able to get the position right back. And something I failed to mention at the beginning of the video, and it's listed in the description, but we are racing with no assist with manual transmission. Oh, excuse me. I do have traction control enabled. And I think that might be the big difference between F1 2011 and 12, is that the throttle and braking using the 360 controller, which is what I'm using here, there seems to be a broader scope or a broader range of responsiveness, and it actually really helps with braking and your throttle. So my hope is that as time goes on and I become more comfortable with the game, that I'll have an opportunity to start removing assists like traction control, which is the last assist on my to-do list. As you can see, Malden Auto speeds right by me here through the last DRS zone of the race, and struggling here at Ascari, and that's probably going to cost me any chance of getting back up with the Williams. But now you can see Raikkonen isn't through. He's having a go on the outside here, and now wheel-to-wheel with the Lotus. And as we head into the Parabolica, the last corner of the circuit, let's see what we can do when there's very slight contact with the Lotus, and this is going to come down to wheel, able to shift up into 5th, and now 6th, and we are able to get P13 by a nose. So very exciting finish there, and you can see Raikkonen and Bruno Senna were very keen to get around me at the last second, but able to fend them off, and I believe there was even a Force India car there. Taking a quick look at the results, let's see, yes, there was Paul di Resta was also right there, so very spirited in the middle of the grid, but the all-important beating our rival has taken place, and we were able to do so. So now we're going to be able to move on to Spa, and if we are able to beat Jean-Eric Vergne there, we will have an opportunity to race for Toro Rosso for the next handful of races, or until we beat our next rival. So going to leave you guys here with just a short highlight clip. Hope you guys have enjoyed watching. Feels very, very good to be starting off on a fresh series. Very excited about it, and hope you guys will stick with me as I get through these 10 races. Feel free to check out my channel. I've got a number of Forza 4 commentary videos posted, a number of those actually, as well as my F1 2011 series, which I know isn't quite as exciting, but hey, at least it's a full complete season if you're interested in more F1 commentary. So hope to see you guys at the next one. Thanks again.